I'm
going
at
to talk
the
about
Comic
what is
Con.
cosplay and how to do it. This is
I'm
Mariah.
at the Comic
This is
Con
Lowell.
and
I'm Jessica.
recording Lowell for his YouTube
So
channel.
we're going to start with what is cosplay.
I'm in the
Go ahead.
Pocatella.
Hi guys. This up because I'm a little short.
No, not the art zone.
It's
Like
short. There we go. Words.
the building with the big
So
black billboard
cosplay
with that
is,
big silver
what
tree.
most everyone in here is actually kind of doing, which is phenomenal, guys. I'm so excited. I always get super excited when I see people in cosplay. Cosplay
Come in
to
the back.
me is basically costume play, right? It's taking something you love and donning it. If that's
But
elven, fairy, fantasy, sci-fi, steampunk, Marvel, it's taking something and making it your own. And I think it's absolutely awesome. I don't know how else to put it.
All right, well, my spider senses are tingling on this question. Well, yeah, basically what she said, cosplaying is that, but it's also, to some people, something more. Because at times they have visions of what their character looks like and what they have the vision for it, and people basically take what they have in their homestead and then basically be able to create their own character and just to go to cosplay for it.
Okay, so how did you discover cosplaying?
YouTube. I was actually, the way I discovered cosplaying, besides usually what we all do during Halloween, was actually YouTube videos when I saw someone creating a full, like, Batman suit out of foam armor, which, more of a DC nerd than I am a Marvel nerd, and that kind of, like, inspired me to go more like costume route for these kind of events. And basically that's how I kind of got started. And Wanda?
Well, I actually started cosplaying when I was like 4. I don't remember. It was a long, long time ago. I was one of the people in my town that people made fun of because I dressed up all the time. I was the one who went, I got invited to this Halloween party, but my grandparents don't like Halloween. I have to make a costume. I'm gonna get some garbage bags and be Zorro. And that was the first cosplay I ever did. I did eyeliner for a little mustache, and I had my grandma's black cowboy hat, and I cut a face mask out of a trash bag, and then I got another trash bag and tied it around my neck, and I just wore all black. And people didn't know who I was, but they knew I was Zorro. And it was phenomenal. And it was one of the best feelings in the world to walk around the school and have people go, oh my gosh, that's a really good Zorro costume. Where'd you get it? Oh, I made it. You did what? And I was 6. So I was super stoked. And that's when cosplay started for me. What are your top 3 craftsmanship tips? Don't be a perfectionist. There's no point. It's always going to end up coming up short to your expectations. Every time, all the time. You will never feel like it's good enough. But it probably is. And everybody's going to enjoy it, especially if you enjoy it. So make sure you enjoy it. That's honestly my absolute tip for that. As far as crafting itself goes, it depends on your craft. Whatever craft you do it to the best of your ability and be proud of yourself. Because crafting is hard. And it's not quick, it's not something you can just snap your fingers and do, but it is absolutely worth being proud for. So be proud of what your craft is, and own that craft, and don't expect yourself to be perfect.
Here, here. Well, I think number 1 should go to researching into what materials you want to use and what may be best for you is not best for someone else. That's just a quick little thing. And also research into your character goes a long way, especially if you're trying to make foam armor. Second thing, don't be a perfectionist. My brother, who's a part of the 501st, will tell you, even though they are strict with what it has to be, your first attempt will not be perfect. So I think that besides all what you said about patience and trying not to be perfect, just yeah, try to have fun. And number three, if people ask you for a lot of pictures, then you're doing something good.
If you could tell your past self anything about cosplay, what would you say? Do it. Do it. Do it hard. Do it every day. Do it as often as you want, and don't let anyone stop you from feeling comfortable in your skin. It doesn't matter what that skin looks like. It doesn't matter if you walk around with pointed ears, if you walk around in a Spider-Man costume, if you wear a kilt because you like kilts. Walk around in your own skin and don't be afraid to shine in who you are in that cosplay, because cosplay, like he said, is not just about making a specific character that you recognize on stage. It's about sometimes finding and creating a character that's all you. If that's your persona, make your persona. If you want to be an elven maid, be an elven maid. If you want to be a druid or a warrior, be those things. Let them become you.
I would be like, hey, younger me, do not give up on drawing. Because whatever you draw, you can create. Whenever you can create, you can make it to a cosplay. And that kind of goes into like the whole art of cosplaying. If you can design your own costume and you have a specific rule set in your mind, you can create anything you put your mind to.
What, in your opinion, makes a cosplayer a pro cosplayer? Well, that's a tricky question. Mostly because I'm standing up here and I feel a little bit like I have imposter syndrome myself, okay? So I'm just gonna lay that out there right now. I have never thought of myself as a professional cosplayer. I cosplay because I love it. And I think most cosplayers would probably say that. So I think professional is more, do you love your craft? Do you work hard at it? Do people recognize that you work hard at it? And do you show up? If those are the things that you're doing, then you're probably a professional cosplayer.
Dang, took the words right out of my mouth. Well, I can't really say much because legitimately my first cosplay was 2 years ago when I went as my own Star Wars character for Midland Comic Con. Yeah, even except it kind of turned out more like Cloud with a lightsaber.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, and basically what I consider as a pro cosplayer, even though there is no such thing as a pro cosplayer, trust me from experience. Probably a guy with full Beskar armor for a Mandalorian with an actual like pole with a cardboard stick at the end to be a Beskar spear. He was actually there at the Comic Con, but yeah. Just keep on doing what you're doing, love your craft, and if you do that and you make sure that everything is perfect for you, then you are a pro cosplayer.
Is cosplaying expensive? Yes, it can be. It's an expensive hobby if you're not careful. Unfortunately, it just like any art or craft, they become, or hobby, in fact, any hobby just becomes exorbitant. It's a luxury in our day and age to have hobbies. So, unfortunate for most of us, that means we kind of have to slack off on the ultimate goal of what we want to be able to do because, well, you can't afford it. Either because you're a poor, broke college student, or you're a high schooler, or you have kids, or whatever your reason is. There's probably a good reason why you're not spending $100, $200, $300, $400, $600,000 on your cosplay. Whatever your reason is, yes, it can be expensive. Good news is, though, there are cheaper ways to do it if you know where to look.
What she said. And also, it's just like, this is just a retrospective. You can all put your hands up because I'm pretty much everyone that's in this room that's listening to this. Raise your hand if you're a nerd. Then yes, it's expensive for all of us. But yeah, like you said, there are alternatives to actually like creating cosplay. I looked on Amazon, there was like EVA foam that was like for like $30. Yeah, in comparison to other EVA foams I found online, they go around from like $200 to possibly almost $300. And of course, you can't actually buy it full-on cosplay, which is basically what I did for my Spider-Man mask and all this stuff. It can put a dent in your wallet. But yeah, I mean, try to find alternative ways to save money and don't give up. That's one thing that can probably damage a whole hobby and break you down as much as you can. If you give up, then what's the point of being nerds? We don't give up. We are basically like Luke Skywalker trying to take down the Death Star, or Mr. Spock when he's going to shoot lasers into Nero's ship. That's basically all I say.
Why do you cosplay and why should I? Well, I think I've kind of covered this on a few different other answers. You should cosplay if you want to, honestly. That is the best answer I can give you. If you think, oh, I kind of want to, oh, that is so cool. I wish I was brave enough to do that. Then do it. I hear that so often. I wear cloaks during the winter. I don't like coats. If I can help it, I'll wear the big flowy coats and the hoods because why not? And I'll have people go, oh, I love your cloak. I wish I was brave enough to wear that. And I go, then wear one. Like, well, I don't have one. I don't know where to go. Well, why don't you commission someone to make you? Well, that's a really good idea. And it's amazing because so many people end up going, you know, you're not wrong. Like, I don't know why. I just don't do it. I just don't. So do yourself a favor, and if you have that inkling, if you have that itch in the back of your mind that you might really want to play that random princess, or maybe that random Jedi warrior, or maybe that Star Wars character that's, you know, like Ahsoka. Maybe you want to be Ahsoka. Maybe you want to be Elsa. I know that's weird, but be Elsa. I dress up as Elsa sometimes. I do parties, and it's fun, and it's the best thing in the world when a child sees you and goes, Elsa! And runs over and starts crying because they are so happy to see their Queen Elsa. And it makes everything so worth it. And it goes for Spider-Man. When people see Spider-Man, they go, oh my gosh, it's Spider-Man. And you become these characters. For little kids, for even grown-ups who see you, you become the essence of that character. And for a little while, you bring some joy to the world that otherwise wasn't there. And honestly, I think that makes it everybody's responsibility to do on some level, right? Right? Okay, maybe not. But absolutely bringing joy to the world is a very good reason to cosplay, in my opinion.
Well, as a wise old man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And yeah, I mean, I've done like a few birthday parties now just with this. I've done like a 30-year-old guy's birthday party. Yeah, you see him right there. And yeah, it brings such joy to people, even little kids, even when they are like, Spider-Man! And then you kind of lose track of that you're in the real world, and then you kind of become Spider-Man for a lot of these kids. And I can tell you from doing like 2 little kids' birthday parties, that's all they care about. Is that a comic book character or a movie character from Disney comes into real life, pays them a visit on their birthday, and it gives them that joy in the world. Guess what? There's no other feeling like that. And you can't replicate it unless you meet some other people that are like you at an actual con. And I'll tell you, it's weird. It is weird. Because when you meet someone at the con that has the exact same cosplay as you, just a little bit different, and they're on the opposite, and they're just opposite spectrums at times, and or you're like, there's like a female scorpion meeting a male scorpion, and then you're like, ah, run, oh my gosh. It's like Spider-Verse all over again. And then it's just that sense of connectivity between a lot of nerds, a lot of kids, is that you made this, or you bought it and you're wearing it right now, and that gives you a sense of connectivity to different groups from like Mortal Kombat, DC, Marvel, Spider-Verse, or whatever. It is a sense of belonging that very few people have ever gotten in actual real world. And basically that's why I do it, a sense of connectivity and almost a sense of fellowship, minus the wizard, the hobbits, and all that, but it is a sense of bringing joy to not only yourself, but to the world. And there's a TARDIS. Indeed.
I'm not sure. Hold on. Sorry, I got a phone call. I got distracted. I want to get started, but I'm not sure where to begin. should I start? So, yes, research, absolutely. The best place to go is if you want a specific character, go and look and see what they wear. And then you have a choice. You can either look at that and go, I have to make all of this. Or you can go, what do I have in my closet? I might have something that'll work for that. And if you sit there and think about it, you'll start to realize the key elements of the character you are wanting to look at. And that is always what I go for. It's what character are you trying to do? Okay, so if you're doing the Little Mermaid, what would you see in the Little Mermaid that would make her the Little Mermaid? If you're doing the mermaid version, or are you doing the princess version where she's walking on her own 2 feet? If you're doing the one that's walking on her own 2 feet, what makes her visibly aware that that is Ariel? I know that that's Princess Ariel. Well, she's got red hair. Fiery freaking red hair and a bright pink dress, right? So those are the 2 elements. Okay, well I don't want to wear a ball gown, so what? Well, hey, I have this cute summer dress and it's pink. I could wear this, and I've got this really pretty red wig, or I've got red hair, and then ta-da! And you've got something that's very reminiscent of the character that you're looking for. And there's ways to do that. Or, you know, she wears that big black bow in her hair at one point, putting that in your hair with her hair back. People go, oh gosh, you're Ariel, aren't you? Or even Belle. You can do that with Belle. You can do that with any number of characters. By looking and seeing what the core elements of that character are, you can break it down and figure out the simplest and best way for you as the cosplayer to create this look that you're going for. Whether that's a more expensive look, or whether you're buying it, whether you're making it, whether you're just cosplaying from your closet. There are a lot of options that you can look at for that. And I always think that the best thing that you can do is break down the character for what makes the character them, and then build from there.
And also another good thing that goes into research is looking at photos. Because I'll tell you, at times when you look at a comic book page, since it's a 2D plane, some elements that you might create may look good on a comic book cover, however, it might actually not look well in a real life. So one thing I would actually recommend for a lot of cosplayers to do, because I'm now starting to do it because my next cosplay project is actually going to be Batman, is actually look at what other people have created. In an actual, like, even though pictures are still 2D, some pictures actually are of a 3D object. Look at that, and also look at some templates. Templates is another one thing that a lot of cosplayers either create themselves or they buy it off of line, because then they have the precise measurements that they want in order to create a Power Ranger helmet. And trust me, there are Power Ranger helmet templates. And also YouTube. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to make Stormtrooper armor, Clone Trooper, Batman, even swords.
Random swords.
Swords, medieval armor. And some even do like tutorials on sewing, so you can possibly go as Gandalf. So that's basically what I would research, look at some templates, and also make sure that the character you want to be as, if it's certain or you want to create your own, know it, and also learn how to execute it. Because execution is kind of key to almost any cosplay.
Just a little.
Gender bent cosplay. What is it?
Well, you could have any number of things for that. For example, you could have a girl Spider-Man. We've seen some of those in some of the multiversal stuff. Yeah, a girl Spider-Man, that's a gender bend. Or if you had a boy, like, oh, you could swap. You could make Vision actually be the girl and have Wanda be the guy. Yep, and so it's really cool because you can do whatever you want. You can make a character however you want to make them. They don't have to just be the person that you see on the screen. They can be who you want them to be to you. Who are they to you? Who do you connect with? That character in Fairy Tale that maybe isn't the same way you look. Maybe they're a guy and you're a girl and you do not see yourself as a guy. So you were like, well, I don't know if I should be that character. Do it. Have fun. Gender bend them. Make him a girl. Do what you want. Have fun. Connect with that character. Make Urza a guy. Urza Scarlet, the big warrior queen Titania of Fairy Tale. Make her a armor and have the giant wings and the swords. You can do whatever you want. Gender bending is awesome. It basically opens the door for you to be whoever and whatever you want to be. Whether or not that means that you are cosplaying as someone who doesn't actually relate to any specific gender at all. Or perhaps you are specifically a girl who wants to dress up as a guy, so you actually do. You go full out, you wrap, you pull your hair back, you wear the short wigs. You go full on, do it, have fun.
And yeah, I mean, gender bending cosplay is kind of normal. Because, like I said, there's been a female scorpion and a male scorpion. And I've seen them take pictures side by side together. They look amazing. And basically, the rules of cosplaying does not really specify a gender. Now, some people will be like, and I'm like, stop right there. Because it doesn't matter what character you are, it can be any gender. And Vision, he's an android. He doesn't have a specific set of gender. Data is an android. Even though he was made into a male, he could have been made into a female. If anyone watches Star Trek Next Generation in here. And basically, there are, because of the multiverse, and you can make this argument, like seriously, because of the multiverse of like several different fandoms, any one person can actually be a girl that will be a guy in another cosplay. Or anything in between. And that's basically how it is. I think it's awesome, it's pretty cool to see, and when they take pictures side by side between another guy or girl that's dressed up as the exact same thing as them, it creates a unique dynamic that probably would not be found anywhere else.
What's the best part of cosplay for you?
Everything, all of it, the whole bit. You get to pretend to be your favorite characters, you get to make things and show it off to people, you can hide behind stuff if you want to. It's really fun when you get the full mask and people can't tell who you are at all, because then people are just like, oh, you're this awesome character and I don't know who you are, but I want to hug you. And it's great, because you just get to be so connected with everyone. And he keeps bringing this up, it creates community in a way that you don't see in anywhere else, really, unfortunately, and that always breaks my heart. But in the cosplay community, in the convention community, really, there is family. You find family there. I have several conventions that I go to, and I have someone who calls me Con Mom, and they're my con kid. And I see them maybe once a year. I see them at the convention. I've helped them fix their cosplays. They've hung out with us. They're family that I only see once a year at a convention, but we've created such connection because of our love of cosplay. She came to me and said, you're the reason I cosplay. I saw you cosplaying with all your kids, and I went, I don't want to do that. If she can do it with 5 kids, then I can do it by myself. And she did, and guess what? She won first place every single year. I was a little salty, not gonna lie, but that was why I do it, and that's what I love. I love inspiring and bringing joy and bringing community and connecting with people in a way that it goes deeper than just a superficial hello.
Yeah, it creates a sense of community, and for me, when I wear this suit, it gives me an unlimited restriction to quip. Because that's what Spider-Man does, he quips. Now, if I was dressed as some other character, probably dark or brooding, or I could just be going the entire time, I'll do it if I am dressed as that character, because you embody that character becomes you, and then you start to bring it out to the world, bring joy. Goes back to the little kids thing. When the little kid sees you and you're playing a part, it creates a whole heck of awesome little monsters. And it does create community at conventions, because I met 2 guys over there that were like really into Power Rangers, and I was dressed as Scorpion. And then one of the guys is like a photographer, the other guy does like designs for like notepads and then sells them. And from like our love of like cosplaying and actually designing some cosplaying for like Ranger suits, out of all things, Ranger suits, we have called ourselves the Ranger Bros. You could probably guess why, and it's just like that sense of family, that at times nerds, geeks, whatever we like to label ourselves, we don't find anywhere else outside our actual biological family. Because, let's be honest, society doesn't really accept all of us. So when we find something that actually connects us as people of the cosplay community and as just a huge nerd group, it gives us something to look forward to and something to hope for. And that's kind of like my 2 cents on that, why I cosplay.
How active are you in cosplaying in your own community?
Not as much as I would like recently due to COVID, unfortunately. But before that, I actually do princess parties. I dress up as various Disney princesses and do birthdays. So I've been Elsa, Merida, Ariel, and Belle are the ones that I primarily do. And it has been fun. I've done different community events for them. I've done like at Halloween, the zoo does events, and so I'll go out dressed up as a Disney princess for that. And I also have helped out I used to work at a preschool, and so I got to bring in some of my costuming fun for that as well. And it is amazing to me because being a creative mind allows you to open so many doors and connect with so many different people, especially children. Children look at that and they glow when they see that someone loves the same things that they do, even though they're an adult, even though they're grown up, even though they're supposed to be these stoic individuals who only work. You know, I got 5 kids at home, and my kids think I'm crazy, and they love it though. They do. Every single one of them is artsy. Every single one of them wants to cosplay or do something along those lines, and it inspires me when I inspire other children or other people. When I bring in that hey, you can do this even as a grown-up. You can do what you love. You can be who you want to be. You can light the world, and you can glow as who you are. And that has been, I think, one of the best sides of working in my community and getting to be these princesses that I never really thought I would ever do that. I've never been a super girly girl or anything, but here I am walking around as a princess and talking to people and, oh, how are you? And people just, and they get so excited. Sometimes they cry. These little kids don't even know how to respond. They're so excited. And it is phenomenal to see that in the next year they come dressed up. Oh, she insisted she wear that Belle dress. She saw you last year, and she had to wear Belle this year, so she made sure you saw it, and she made this herself. And it is so neat when you see that moment, when you see that craftiness come to life in a child because you did it. It is so cool.
She took what I said, but in a different direction of princesses. Oh man. What was the question again? I was so busy listening to her and just being in awe. Not as much as I like to. I'll be honest, I just recently started doing birthday parties, and I'll be honest, business has been slow, as it usually is when you start out. And the one who usually cosplays more in my family is my brother, because he's part of the 501st and is a stormtrooper. And he's gone to like conventions and all that stuff, and I'm like, I want to be like that. However, I don't have the type of resources. And it's just like, and then when I start getting into cosplay, like 2-3 years ago, yeah, when I went on my actual first big Comic-Con, which was in Midland, Texas, as my little Star Wars person that turned more into Cloud, I just basically just put together just black ripped holy jeans, because if you looked at Star Wars, there are some people that are wearing jeans. I'm not even kidding. And then just boots, a Jedi belt with like a little clip that you can put your Kyber light lightsaber into, and then a black tank top with like a paladin going across you, and then bam, you're your own Star Wars character. And it's just like, I'm not sure if this goes into, but have you ever, like, when you start getting to cosplay, you're now designing more stuff on paper and then you start to create it in real life? That's basically it. What is becoming my thing is that we all become constant creators and crafters, and then that's how we become more like active in our own cosplay community, because what you design on paper, like I said before, you can actually create in real life You just have to figure out how and again where to start.
Okay, so we have time for one more question and then finishing remarks. And we're gonna go with I want to cosplay but don't have a lot of crafting skills. Any tips?
Cosplay from your closet. That is straight up the best thing you can do. So this outfit I'm wearing today, I specifically picked this for this reason. It is Goodwill. I bought these at Goodwill last week. I am trying to, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I unfortunately have had a lot of health issues, so I've lost a lot of weight, so most of my cosplays don't currently fit me. So I had to go through and create something on the fly. And so I was like, okay, well, what can I do? And of course, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness just came out. And I realized that Wanda, on several occasions, is wearing basically street clothes. She's a mom, right? She's with her kids in certain elements. So I'm like, all right, what can I do with that? And I went and I found a scene where she looks just like this. And I went, I've never done makeup like that before. I don't usually do the gory thing, and it's not, but that'd be a really easy cosplay. So I went and I found this at Goodwill. I spent maybe $6. Okay, $6 on this cosplay. And then this is just regular makeup I used to make some bruising based off of a picture of her. And then I made the blood, which all the blood is corn syrup, some hot chocolate mix, and some red food coloring. And you mix it up, and it's a goopy, sticky mess, but it dries pretty well, actually. And for the first time ever, it actually turned out really well, and I was pretty impressed with its cheap, simple, and effective way of pulling together this cosplay. And that is honestly the best thing that you can do. If you're not sure where to start, go look in your closet. Say, I love My Little Pony. I want to be an equestrian girl. What can I do? Well, which pony do you like? What colors do they wear? What makeup do you have? Or do you have a friend who likes to do makeup? Maybe they can help you with the color palette or do your makeup for you, and all you need is the color shirt. Well, what style would Rainbow Dash wear as a real person? And you look in your closet, you see what you have. Is she a punk? Does she wear like black shredded jeans and just have her hair colored multicolored and her skin painted blue? There you go. You've got yourself a Rainbow Dash cosplay out of your closet, and pretty simple. So you don't have to go all out. It can be super easy just to find something from your closet that goes, this reminds me of Candace from Phineas and Ferb. I'm gonna be Candace. Or Kim Possible, or whomever. You know, Kim Possible wears green pants and a black tank top and her hair up in a ponytail. There you go. It takes very little time. If you look in your closet, you'll be surprised what you can find in there for very cheap. Or, when in doubt, go to Goodwill.
Yeah, look through your closet. I'll be honest. And that goes back to what my first ever cosplay was, which, again, sleeveless shirt.